Hello, my name's Paul Borman. I'm an executive coach to some of the most senior people in the world and a business psychologist. In this online program, I'll share with you some of the common issues that my clients bring to me and the advice that I give them to help overcome these issues. There'll be written exercises to complete, and most importantly, actions to take back in your workplace. Do you have the level of influence in your organisation that you want and you deserve? I hope your answer is yes, but for many of my clients, unfortunately the answer is no. These are pretty bright people who I generally work with. They have exceptional insight into their industries or technical specialism, and they have a lot of great ideas that their organisation needs to respond to. But for some reason or other, the level of influence that they have doesn't match the level of expertise that they have. They feel that they're banging their head against a brick wall trying to convince others to do what they say is right. Recently, someone came to me who had identified a real clear risk for their business in the future. There was something wrong with one of their customer propositions, and she had identified the problem. Yet whenever she went and pointed out the potential downside, people dismissed her as a naysayer and a negative person. Over and over again, she tried to influence and change the way in which she presented this argument, but no matter how she presented it, she was always ignored. Eventually, the organisation got into some trouble because they hadn't bothered to listen to her. Sometimes people like her are so caught up in what they're trying to influence that they forget to consider who they're trying to influence. So we're going to start by figuring out which people to focus your attention on. For this, we're going to create something called a stakeholder map. A stakeholder map is basically just a way of putting down on paper all of the relationships that you have in the workplace. There's space for you to do this in the worksheet. You'll see in the middle of the page there is an empty circle, and you're going to put your name in that circle because you are at the heart of your relationship map. Now you need to begin to think of the critical people that you need to influence in your organisation. And I'm saying people deliberately. Don't think of departments. Don't have marketing as being one of your relationships. Think of the name of the person in marketing you most need to influence. For each person, they will have their own circle, and the location of that circle will indicate how close a relationship you have in terms of contact. Somebody you have very, very little contact with might be right at the edge of the page, but somebody you work with every day will be very close to you. For each person, also draw a connecting line between you and them, and indicate something about the strength of that relationship with the line. Some people like to put a thick line for a strong relationship and a thin one for a poor relationship, or maybe a dotted one, or jagged, with lightning strikes around it. There are lots of creative ways to draw your map to bring to life the quality of the relationships around you. There's also a bit of room for you to draw connections between people on your map. There may be somebody very important to you, but they're quite distant. You don't have any relationship with them really, but they have a relationship with somebody that you have a relationship with. So feel free to draw those kind of connections from you to someone you do know on to the person you need to know, because that might be important for your future relationship building. Once you've completed the task, look at your map and try to see which relationships it's most important for you to improve. Some may be quite easy to fix, and if there's a distant circle with a dotted line, it might just require you to spend a bit more time with that person. While a close circle with lightning all around it is going to be a little bit more challenging. Once you've done this, identify 3 relationships that you're going to improve and answer these questions on your worksheet. What makes this relationship challenging? What do you need from them? What do they need from you? How would they describe the relationship? What are the opportunities for you to work more closely together? What would you like this relationship to be like in 12 months' time? What is the first step that you are going to take? Creating a stakeholder map can really help you focus your attention on the critical relationships that you need to nurture and improve. The worksheet is laid out so that you can create your own stakeholder map and then answer some questions on those relationships that you wish to improve in the coming days.